The 4th of July is 6 days away, 6, and I'm about to show you how to go from I didn't make a single thing to red, white, and blue all through your home, all before the cookout starts.
Hey y'all, I'm Kelly, and this is where cozy meets real life. Welcome to Kelly's Cozy Living.
Hey friend, welcome back to Kelly's Cozy Living. Grab your coffee and come hang out with me, because today we are doing a little last-minute patriotic crafting. None of this is complicated, none of it is expensive, and every single one of these projects is something you can finish in an afternoon. So if you've been telling yourself it's too late to decorate, it is not too late. Let's go make some pretty things. First up is the flag bow. And y'all, this one is so quick you might miss it, so don't blink. I started with a little flag I grabbed from Walmart, and I'd already coffee stained mine to give it that aged, primitive look. Then all you do is accordion fold it, back and forth like a fan, and just fuss with it a little to make sure your pleats look even. Pinch it in the middle, tie it off with a piece of ribbon, and that is it. That's the whole thing. You can pop it on a basket like I did, and it adds the cutest little touch of patriotic charm. Next up are the little fabric flags, and these are so fun. You just pick whatever style fabric you love. I'm using my red ticking stripe. Then head out in the yard and grab a few small sticks. And listen, they do not have to be perfect. The crooked, twiggy ones are the whole charm. That's what gives these that primitive, made-it-myself look. Then I tore 2 strips of fabric. And I say tore because those frayed edges are exactly what you want here. One bigger strip for the flag part and a smaller piece for the corner. I doubled the length on mine so I could wrap it all the way around the stick and have it look finished on both sides. Then I just wrapped the flag part around the stick and glued it down. After that, I added the little corner piece. I used a navy floral for some of mine instead of stars, and either one works, and glued that on too. That's it. This one's quick too, and it's a great way to use up scrap fabric you already have. Tuck a few in a little pitcher or crock, and they are just the sweetest. Next up is the pillow, and this one is such a good thrift store flip. I found these 2 white pillows at the thrift store for $2.99, and that was for both of them. Can you believe that? And they already had these perfect little frayed edges, so half the work was done for me. Then I picked my fabric. I used my red and white ticking from Hobby Lobby for the stripes, and the star fabric came from Michael's. I just cut them to size to fit the front of my pillow. Stripes on the bottom, stars up in the corner, just like a flag. I used fusible backing to attach mine because I already had some on hand, but you do not have to. You can just as easily hot glue it right onto the pillow and it'll look exactly the same. And that's it, a sweet little patriotic accent pillow for next to nothing. Next up is the wood flag. I spotted this palette-looking wood piece at Walmart, and the second I saw it, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. I used my chalk paint for this. Waverly Night Sky for the blue, Waverly Ivory, Waverly Crimson. I painted the white stripes first, then I painted the blue corner and finished up with the red stripes. For the stars, I grabbed some little wood stars from Dollar Tree and painted them white. Once everything was dry, I lightly sanded the whole thing with a sanding block to knock that brand new look right off. And then my favorite part, I took truffle, watered it down, brushed it on, and wiped it back off with a paper towel. That's the little trick that gives it that soft, aged, been around forever look instead of bright and craft store new. And that's my wood flag. I just love how this one turned out. Next up are the Patriotic books. I picked mine up at the thrift store, but Dollar Tree has them too. One tip though, you want to find books that have that little fabric texture on the cover, not the shiny, slick kind. The paint just grabs so much better on those, so it's worth digging for the right ones. I went with one thicker book on the bottom and two thinner ones to stack on top. I painted two of them white and the third one night sky for my blue. You may need to do 2 coats of the paint so that the book color doesn't bleed through. Then I let those dry good. Now, here's a little trick for the stripes. I grabbed my painter's tape and pressed it onto my shirt a few times first. That pulls some of the tackiness off so it doesn't grab too much paint when you peel it up. Then I laid out my stripes on the top book and painted my red in between. When I peeled the tape, I had one little spot pull up, but no big deal at all. You just go back in with a touch of white and nobody will ever know. For the blue book, I used a little star stencil I picked up at Dollar Tree a few years ago and painted my stars on. Then on the solid white book, I stenciled USA in blue. And then, you guessed it, back in with my watered down truffle to age everything down. And a tip here, if you put too much on, like I did, just get a wet paper towel. It will take more off and fix it. Last thing, I ripped several strips of fabric, some ribbon, and a little twine and tied it all into a rough, messy bow to wrap around the stack. Now, I may have used a few too many strips, but hey, more is more, right? And that's the books. And then I styled these up on my mantle, stacked them up with a little jar of stems and some florals, and they just pull the whole thing together. That cozy little patriotic corner makes me so happy. Next up is the fabric wreath, and this one is so simple it's almost not even a craft, but it turns out so pretty. You'll need a metal ring to start. I got mine at Hobby Lobby in a 3-ring pack, so I had extras to play with. Then you get to decide what fabric you want to use. I ripped mine into strips about 1 inch wide and cut them down some. The way these work is, you fold each strip in half, lay the loop over the ring, then pull the two ends through that loop and pull it tight like a little lark's head knot. So before you start, think about how long you want your strips. Mine ended up about 4 inches long once they were tied on. Then you just start tying them on, alternating your patterns as you go. And here's the thing, you want this really, really full, so just keep packing those strips in. Don't be shy. The fuller it is, the prettier it looks. You could even use ribbon instead of fabric if you wanted. I think that would be just gorgeous too. Once my ring was packed full, I added a little cross I had in my stash. It came from Dollar Tree. I painted it white and then went around the edges with a little gold rub and buff to give it that pretty aged gilded look. Then I just hung it right up. And y'all, this one is so easy that my granddaughter made one a few days later with the extra ring, and she's 5. Hers was pink and green, of course, but that just shows you anybody can make this one. And last, but definitely not least, is the wood wreath. And I'll just say it, this one is my favorite. I saw a photo on Pinterest that inspired me, and I knew I wanted to make one in my own style. I headed to Hobby Lobby and grabbed 2 wood circles in 2 different sizes. They are in the spring section and are 40% off. Now they actually come in 4 sizes, so you could make yours even bigger than mine if you wanted. Then I stained just the outside rim of both circles with Minwax Special Walnut, and I stained the backs too. But here's a little lesson from me to you. Don't stain the back of the small one. I forgot and did mine, and sometimes glue doesn't want to stick as well to stained wood, and if you're going to hang yours out in the weather, you can seal everything with a little polyurethane to protect it. Next, I laid the small circle on top of the big one, got it centered just right, and traced around it with a pencil so I'd know exactly where to stop my fabric on the back piece. To attach the 2 rings, I used some Velcro. Mine wasn't peel and stick, so I just hot glued it on to the back of the small ring and to the front of the big one, right inside that line I traced. That way the center pops on and off whenever I want to change it. For the fabric, I made paper templates. I traced the outside of the big circle and cut that out. Then I set that piece down inside the circle and ran my pencil around the inside edge and cut that out. And that gave me my pattern for the big one. For the small circle, I drew my circle on the template and cut about a 1/2 inch inside the line. And here's a happy little accident. The piece I cut out of the middle fit the small circle perfectly, so I had that template too. Now, you could absolutely paint this, but I wanted mine where I can swap the fabric out for the seasons, so I went with fabric I picked up at Hobby Lobby. I pinned my templates to my fabric, cut them out, oh, and a tip. Write on your templates what each one is for, so you've got them ready for next time. You can even reuse the fabric when you take it off. And hot glued the fabric on using just small dabs, enough to hold, but easy to peel off later when I swap it. A couple of real life moments here. I forgot to drill my holes at the top for the string hanger before I put the fabric in. It worked out fine. I just got a little dust on the fabric I had to clean up. So learn from me and drill those first. Then for the fun part, I used some stencils to put 1776 right in the center of the small circle. And added stars all the way around it. To keep them evenly spaced, I just worked from one side to the other, then filled in the halfway points and kept having the distance until they were all done. That little trick keeps everything even without measuring. I went back and forth on whether to add those very last few stars, but I did, and I'm so glad because they filled it in just perfectly. And for the finishing touch, I took a few strips of fabric, tied them into a soft, shabby little bow, and hot glued it right on. That's what gives it that pretty, homemade charm at the top. I actually took down the coffee filter wreath first on the door I made a few weeks back to put it up. And I'll link that video if you want to go watch how I made it. And can I just be honest with you? As much as I love this new wreath, that coffee filter one still wins. It just does. So I ended up hanging this one outside above my couch. But the best part about this one is how easy it'll be to swap out for all the holidays coming up. And there you have it, 7 cozy last-minute projects to get your home ready for the 4th. And the best part? A few of these, like that wood wreath, you can swap and reuse all year long, so you're really getting your money's worth. Thank you so much for crafting with me today. If you've been here, you know I love a good shop your own house project, and I hope you found something here you can run with this week. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming, and I'll see you really soon. Happy 4th of July, friends. Now go make something pretty.